Hello, everybody. This is Jonica D'Souza, and I am your family lifestylist. Today, I am talking to you on a full moon window, and I will be talking to you about why it is important for you to embody your feminine empress right now. And we're going to go through a full moon activation in a minute. So, if you are watching this right now, I can see a few people watching. If you are watching this right now, drop in, say hello, hi, tell me where you are right now. And in the meantime, I need to share this in my group. Hi, Rena. Rena, are you here? Would you do me a favor? Can you share this video on the Exploring Femininity Facebook group? Because it is stuck on my end. This is really weird. Why can't I do it? Stay on this page. Thank you, Rena. Thank you for doing that. So, Anita Johnson, oh my God, my mom is watching me. Great. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to this full moon activation call. And I am excited to share with you something that is really deary and sacred to me. And I have been talking a lot about it since the last 2 weeks. And I should say that the response had been really good. But it's been really interesting. A lot of women have been talking to me about and asking me about this feminine empress, what it is and what's going on, what does it entail, and which has been really good. I just need to check some logistics here. No worries, Rena. That's okay. Just be present. I'm gonna ask one of my team members to get that sorted right now. So I'll begin in the next 30 seconds. So hang on there. There it is. And then okay. Great. Let's get started. So I'm talking to you about the feminine empress today, and what a beautiful time to talk about it because it's a full moon, and full moon are really good times to activate your inner fire, and especially this one has been invoking a lot of emotions. And full moon, as women, we are lunar beings, and the cycles of the moon affect us greatly. Especially during full moons, we feel emotionally charged and physically charged as well. So if you're feeling either of this, it's a good sign. And as feminine explorers, it's really good for us to use the energy of the divine feminine moon, the cycles of the nature, the elements for our own growth, our own awareness. And so, hence this activation call. So I've been talking about the feminine empress to a few people in the last few weeks, and some of the women have been doing this work with me. I have personally been doing this work for almost an year now. Yeah, inner warrior is coming out. Yes, that's true. That's true. To be honest, my inner lover is also coming out. So I have been receiving a lot of curiosity about what is this feminine empress and how do we go about it? How do we activate that within ourselves? So that's what I'm going to share very briefly today and take you through an activation. And surprisingly, I've got a lot of hate messages as well from some men, especially, who have come across my sharings on Facebook about the feminine empress, and they have been telling me things that are inappropriate. Like some of them were worried that the feminine empress archetype is something that would kind of be more dominating or kind of terrorizing the masculine, which is not at all. And sometimes, hi Catherine, lovely to see you here. And some people were also quite disappointed with the fact that, you know, I'm trying to make up things. Well, that's their perspective. This is my perspective. And the reason I share about it is because this message was given to me in one of the sacred ceremonies. I've been working with the shamanic realm since last few years. And I received a very clear message. And the message was for me to initiate myself into this feminine empress. And in doing so, only I would be able to step into my sacred purpose on this earth. And each one of us have that divine design that I like to call, for which you are here. And I had to do this for myself, and doing so, I will be able to bring forth this information to other women. So I have been coaching women for some time, but right now, not right now, but this download particularly was a call for me to step up and raise my bars into how I can contribute to this work of divine feminine, especially in these times we are witnessing a lot of chaos around. So things like that. And we all have a divine design, you know, and by divine design, I mean that there is a place that you are meant to fill on earth. You're just not here to you know, you're not just born to go to work, pay your bills, work hard, you know, make children, look after everybody, and die in the end. That's just not the primary meaning of your life. You are meant to fill a place. Every single one of us have a contribution. It is up to us if we step into that place or not. So, sub-9 here, interesting. So that's what you are meant to do. And why is the time right now? The time is right now because look around what is happening. What is happening right now? There is so much of chaos going on. There is a lot of stress. There is a lot of fear going on. All these worldly events, all those societal pressure that we are going through, you know, it's causing us a lot of emotional instability. And this is why the time is right now for all of us to step into our personal power. Because the truth of all of the situation is, whatever you're facing right now, whatever struggle, whatever problem, whatever emotional pain, whatever that is concerning you right now is a divine invitation. It's a divine invitation for you to step into your personal power. And this place of power is not the masculine power that I'm talking about. Hi, Tamara. Hi, Camila. It's not the masculine power I'm talking about. It's the sacred power that is in each one of us that is required to be activated at this time. It is time, it is asking you to start living your life by, through, with your soul, not your ego. It is asking you to activate your voice, and that's your power, your voice. And it's not about going and shouting and screaming and getting things done. I'll get into it after some time, but it's about activating your authenticity. And that's what we women are actually called to do in these times of rising feminine consciousness. So what is this feminine empress? What is this? I've been talking about it. And you see, the feminine empress message was given to me for me to initiate and step up into this particular archetype. But more importantly, it is important for each one of us, because look around, you know, we are the women of this 21st century, and we are the most depressed generation that history has ever seen. You know, we are so lonely in spite of being connected all over the web. we have all sorts of illnesses. Some of these didn't even exist until 10 years ago. So a lot of things are happening right now. And this is why this message is important for us in this modern day world, so that we get connected to our roots, our, oh, I'm getting some angry emoticons. I've never got that before. Interesting. So this is what is required from us right now, because a lot of the things happening around us are asking for us to step up, to step up and to contribute in a way that will make an impact, not only in your life, but the life of your family, your loved ones, the society, and for the generations to come, to build a life, a world which is worth living. And we women have a really important role in this, because we are the nurturers, and we need to take ownership of that quality in us without depreciating ourselves. So this feminine empress is this woman who lives her life embodied. What do I mean by that? Feminine empress is this woman who is aware, awake, and alive. Now, these are the three important qualities: aware, awake, and alive. And I'm going to go into it in a minute. Truth. Yeah. Just reading some messages here. All right. So this feminine empress is the term that I came up with because it involved me to activate three particular archetypes within myself, which are the warrior, the mother, and the lover. Now, there are different types of feminine archetypes you would come across, but what is required right now is these three important archetypes of the warrior, the mother, and the lover. And they are so interconnected with each other. And it is required for us so that we can step into our sacred leadership, so that we can step into our authenticity, we can voice out our expression, and so that we are able to connect to ourselves, our loved ones, and to the world, the planet, in a way that is nurturing to us, so that we can heal our feminine wounds, and so that we can also begin to live life as women, enjoying pleasure, enjoying our sexuality. So these three archetypes are very interconnected, and I'm going to give brief description of these archetypes. Now, the first one, the warrior archetype. And the reason I must go behind a little bit, I'm going too fast. Feminine empress, you know, when I looked at the meaning of empress, it said something like a woman who is ruling over something. You know, she's this woman who rules over an empire, or a wife of an emperor. So that's the definition of empress if you look it up in Cambridge or Oxford Dictionary. And that didn't sound right to me. That's the reason I came up with this phrase, feminine empress, because for me, feminine empress is an embodiment of the feminine, of her fierce love, grace, trust, compassion, all of it, in fierce grace. And that's what feminine empress is about. She is not about being dominating or controlling or ruling something, but she's about the collective evolution, including her own growth. You are glowing. Thank you. So let's talk about the archetypes. Now, the warrior archetype. Warrior archetype is something that allows us to step into our authentic expression. It is this archetype from where we draw the courage to live our day in our truth. It is this archetype that helps us to embody boundaries. And with boundaries, it's just not about having boundaries with people, but having boundaries with money, with food, with time, with energy, all of it. You know, it is all about the warrior archetype is also about stepping into our sacred purpose, because as I said, each one of us have a divine design, and it's up to us if we choose to activate that in this lifetime. You always have an opportunity. And the reason I must say that you're watching this information right now is because there is something in you that requires this information, because nothing is done out of nothingness. Everything has a purpose and meaning in this world. There is divine synchronicity. And if you're watching this information right now, that means it is there is a little part of it that is meant for you. So as I'm going through these archetypes, I want you to listen and see how you are showing up in these archetypes, or where is it playing in your life, or how well it is playing in your life, or not, or if it is something that you would like to activate. So if there is something I'd like you to comment as we go. So about the warrior archetype, as I said, it is your truth. It is about what you stand for in this life. And by what you stand for, I mean, what is your core value? Because whatever we do on a daily basis is a result of our core value. And the sad thing is that most of us here operate in the shadow side archetypes. And by shadow side, I mean, let's say for the warrior archetype, the shadow would be being dominating or being controlling of a situation. Or it could be also something like being defensive of things that are happening. You know, the moment you hear about a situation, you are already in a defensive mode, or you're already in a control mode, thinking how you can just, you know, control the situation, which is all fine, because this means that you are playing out of your ego, because ego likes to control things. And a lot of us, as I said, are operating in the dark side of the warrior. We want to control everything around. However, the feminine is about building this trust, which is why, again, the mother archetype comes into play. So I would like to hear from you, if you're watching, what is the connection with your warrior archetype? Where do you see it? Do you see yourself in the dark side, feeling the need to control things, situation, people? Or are you having problems stepping into your boundary, staying in your boundary, or creating your boundary for yourself? Or if you have some problems stepping into your truth or voicing out your truth, that's also really important. So I'd like to have this conversation with you about how you feel about this warrior archetype. Let me see some comments here. One of the things of the warrior archetype is about taking aligned action. You know, we women are so used to doing things, you know, we like to keep doing, and that's not what the warrior is about. The warrior is sometimes, and sometimes warrior could be about not doing anything, because nothing is required right now. And you can really survive without doing that thing. So warrior is not about being in the doing mode. However, it's about taking aligned action. And you can take aligned action only if you know your core values, if you know what you stand for. Rena says, my warrior archetype comes out when I'm defending others out of love. I get scared to step into my warrior archetype when defending my needs. Exactly. So this sounds like more of a boundary issue here, where you are scared to step into your warrior archetype defending your needs, because your emotional needs are your responsibility and useful for your vitality. So the warrior archetype is all about that. It's all about taking courage and doing the things that are in alignment with your truth. Aligned action, clarity takes time. It's a boundary issue. And you know, sometimes aligned action, Rena, may look like doing something, taking an action. Sometimes an aligned action can be a non-action. So again, these are the qualities of the warrior that require discernment. So many times when we look into clarity, we may want to go and start doing something to, you know, act on it. But many times it's the opposite. You know, the clarity could be not acting on it right now, not reacting on it too. So let's move on to the mother archetype. Now, the mother archetype, very true, thank you. Thank you, Rena. So, non-action is very hard for me. Doing it, I know we all are doing it. Actually, it was, I was on a call just before this Facebook Live with one of my clients, and I asked her to actually make a list of the things that she should not be doing because we are so used to doing things, and we make the to-do list. Well, that was a difficult task for her. So let's move on to the mother archetype. The mother archetype is all about nurturing, about compassion. The mother is all about compassion, connection, and nourishment. And this is so beautiful, because if you are a mother, you already know what the mother archetype is. But you don't really have to know this to be a mother, to know this archetype, because this is our innate feminine nature. You know, the mother archetype is activated in us all the time. That's why we always need, feel the need for connection, and compassion is just in us, ingrained in us. However, what happens is that one of the few of the dark sides of the mother could be she becoming people pleasing or over giving because she likes to provide. So sometimes she becomes self sacrificing in looking after others in a way that she forgets. She doesn't even care. And sometimes she even feels guilty to look after herself. And that's the dark side, that's the shadow of the mother archetype. And we see this is the reason I'm talking about these three archetypes to be the most important archetypes right now for us modern day busy women, because all of us need this right now. We want to provide, but we don't know how to give it back to ourselves. We have problems in receiving. And that's the dark side of the mother archetype. One of the also drawbacks, or one of the good things about the mother archetype is the phases, you know. And the drawbacks could be she being totally disconnected with the cycles. That is the cycles of her periods, the moon, the nature, and her own body cycle. So these are some of the qualities and dark sides of the mother archetype that we are called to look into. All right, reading some comments here. So I'd like to hear from you if there is something that you can relate to the mother archetype. Are you looking after how you are giving to yourself, or you are in a pattern of being a people pleaser? And this is again something that I know very well because I've been there for many, many, many years of my life. I've been such a people pleaser that I almost lost my own personality. I didn't even know what I was or who I was. So this is the dark side of the mother archetype. And often the work around the mother archetype is working around our womb energy, and using our power of the womb to create what we desire to create in this world. So that's the mother archetype here. So I'd like to hear from you how you feel about the mother archetype. Do you feel called to activate this mother archetype even? All right, so moving on to the third and the final archetype is the lover archetype. And this lover archetype is one of the most difficult ones for us modern day women because we are so busy that we forget sensuality. We forget, and that's the element of being alive. You know, we forget to be alive in our senses. We forget to experience pleasure. We forget to experience beauty around us. And the lover archetype is all about beauty, pleasure, sensuality, sacred sexuality as well. And when we are too busy, we cannot connect to this archetype within ourselves. And that is really important for us to embody in order to give back, in order to learn how to receive. It is important to activate our lover archetype. And this is also one of the reasons you will see how these three archetypes, the warrior, the mother, and the lover, are connected with each other. Because what happens many times is that a lot of us operate. Yeah, Catherine, I'm not sure which one I am, maybe a little of all. Yes, so I forgot to mention in the beginning that we all have all of these archetypes within us. It's all about how we are using these archetypes to show up every day. So most of the times what happens is that when a lot of us operate in the mother archetype and we forget the love archetype, we forget the differentiation. We're so busy giving, we forget the element of receiving, and we forget to just pause and look around and experience sensuality on a day-to-day basis. And that is vital for us women to experience pleasure. There is a reason that why our clitoris has 9,000 nerves. It is for a reason. Again, nothing is here just meant for nothingness. Everything has a reason, a meaning, and a purpose. So I'd like to hear from you how this lover archetype is playing in your role. Where do you see, do you find it difficult to activate your lover, or is it easy for you? And one of the dark things of the dark side, the shadow side of the lover archetype could be body shame. And this is very common. I have hardly met women who are not ashamed of their body. These days, I am meeting a lot of women who are into their body, which is really good, who are feeling pleasure in their body, but it didn't come to them naturally. They had to do a lot of healing work around shedding those shame and guilt around body, you know, how they look, how big are their breasts and bums and their tummy and things like that. So, and also one of the shadow sides of the lover archetype is feeling guilty about expressing yourself. You know, you feel guilty not to overpower somebody, and this is also one of the things I could relate to myself very much. That sometimes we try to dim our light. You know, we hide ourselves because we don't want others. We don't want people around us to feel what do you say? Less than. We don't want to let anyone know that I am showing off or I want to be more guilty about expressing. Yeah, we feel guilty about expressing. In fact, we feel guilty about even adorning ourselves sometimes. You know, we don't want to be seen as like, oh, she's showing off. We've been told this so many times. So these are the three archetypes that the lover, the mother, and the warrior, they are ingrained in all of us. And it is working, it's playing its role every single day in our lives without even our knowing. Maybe sometimes we know. If you are aware of these archetypes, then you know. And many times unknowingly, unconsciously, they are playing out. And the work of the feminine empress is to embody these three archetypes, is to really go into these three archetypes bit by bit, layer by layer, and uncover yourself fully from these archetypes. And then also to learn the shadow sides of these archetypes, because in learning that, you will be able to receive more of your desires, because I believe that your shadows, your negative feelings, your negative emotions, your everything that is that the things that you don't like in yourself are meant for a purpose. It's meant for your growth. So it's really important to know this. And that's why those work of the feminine empress has been like amazing for me, because it helped me to really integrate on a day-to-day basis that how I show up on this day. You know, every day when I wake up, I am aligning myself to, okay, how am I going to speak my truth today? How can I be authentic today? I am checking in where I can be compassionate and loving today. And I'm checking in my lover archetype to see how I can receive pleasure today, so I don't get burned out. You know, so these three archetypes are crucial on a day-to-day basis, not like weekly basis. I do this in my coaching because I take my clients on a deep dive. So that's when we go deep weekly into these archetypes. But once you become aware of these archetypes, then you will start to, claiming it every single day for yourself, because the combination of three is important for you to finally go back to bed at the end of the day feeling like, yes, you are compassionate. Yes, you gave yourself the time to rest. Yes, you served a purpose. You contributed somehow. And this is what fulfillment is about. And this is what we are called to do as modern day busy women, and as at these chaotic times. This is what we are called to do, to contribute. And if we do not know ourselves enough, we cannot contribute. If we do not know what our sacred purpose is, we cannot contribute. We will just remain a hot mess, as I like to say. So if you are interested in knowing more, next week I will be doing more Facebook Lives where I will go deeper into every single archetype. So each Facebook Live for each archetype, so that you can then relate to it and then pick up one thing that you can work around, you know, because all of this can be really overwhelming. As I said, that it took me a year's work to totally dismantle this concept, and it takes 3 months of journey in my coaching with my clients to, you know, for us to embody our feminine empress. So I'm giving you a gist of it. So I'd like to explain a little bit more. If you are interested, I will post a link and you can register, and next week I'll go live here, same place, same times. I'll send you the dates, and I'll talk more about the warrior, the mother, the lover, and we can sit together and discuss how it works for you, where it doesn't work for you, what you can start doing, so that you know how you can embody your feminine empress. Okay, so hey, lovely. Yes, I want to go deeper into these archetypes. Lovely to see you here. So we're going to go into the new moon activation. Now, those of you who have been listening to me and I've been talking about the feminine emperors and all these archetypes, one thing, as I said, I know for sure is that you are here because a part of you within you requires this information. Nothing in this world happens as a coincidence, as a chance, as a luck. Everything is a synchronicity. So I'm going to take you through the process of activation, and whatever feels right to you today, whatever you want to activate, if you want to activate your feminine empress, if you want to activate your warrior, your mother, your lover, go for it during this activation process. And I'd like to also say, like, I've been working with the shamanic practices, and in these shamanic practices, in the ancients, they used to use the rites of passages. They used to use poems, music, drums, dancing, and all of these sacred instruments to create the activation. So that's what I would invite you to step into. Let me get some water. So I'd like you to just grab your seat, become comfortable as I will lead you through a very quick full moon visualization process so you can activate your feminine empress right away. So get seated, get comfortable. And I'm also going to read you a Hopi prophecy. It's from the elders, and some of you may know it. It's a message from the Hopi elders. It's meant for these chaotic times that we are witnessing, and I find it to be a really powerful message to activate this personal power, this feminine empress within ourselves, so that we can actually claim all of it. You know, we can claim our leadership, we can claim our purpose, we can claim our lovingness, we can claim our sacredness as well, we can claim our pleasure too. Okay, so as you're seated, I'd like you to just close your eyes and get centered. Taking a few deep breaths. If you want, you can place your hands on the womb or your heart and become grounded. Now I want you to imagine that you are sitting on a beach. It is evening time. You are sitting on a beach on this beautiful, soft, silky, white sand. You're beautifully, comfortably placed on this beach. And you can hear the waves flowing towards you and going back. And in front of you, you see a big, very visible full moon. It is so big that it is unavoidable. It's just right in front of you, and it's shining all its light in its fullest glory. It's the full moon, the biggest moon that you have ever seen. It's right in front of you as you're sitting on the sand, feeling relaxed, feeling this cool breeze. And now we're going to call upon the energy, the divine feminine energy of this full moon to shower her blessings on us. Taking deep breath. I'm going to invite you to allow the moon to shower its light, its white beaming shining light all over you. You're sitting on this beach and you are witnessing being showered in this white glowing shiny light from head to toe. And you just keep breathing in. Just allow yourself bathing in this white beaming light. Just experience the warmth, the shiny, the brightness of this light just filling you all over your body. As I read this Hopi prophecy for you right now, sisters, it goes something like this. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside of yourself for the leader. This could be a good time. See who is in it with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration, because we are the ones we've been waiting for. And now just feeling into this, breathing into this. You are the one you've been waiting for. It's time for you to activate your feminine empress. As the light of the moon follows and flows through you, feel it touching your crown chakra. It's connecting you, it's connecting you to your higher source, to your truth. It is then flowing to your third eye to activate the intuition and wisdom in you. The moon's light then flows down to your throat chakra to activate your voice, your authentic expression. The moon's light is flowing down further into your heart chakra, opening you to unconditional love for yourself and others around. The moon's light is now flowing down to your sacral chakra, building your self-esteem, self-confidence, self-trust, activating that in you. The moon's light is now flowing down in your body to your sacral chakra, to your womb space, activating your desire, your power of creating anything that you desire. And finally, it's reaching your root chakra to ground you in your feminine empress, in your calling. And with this, I imagine you sitting in this beach, drawing a line with your fingers on the sand. Just draw a line in your imagination on the sand. And now I'd like you to stand up and step forward your right leg, crossing that line as you activate your feminine empress. This is your rite of passage. You are stepping up, stepping into your new being with this full moon activation. Now you can say to yourself out loud, I am activating my feminine empress. You can place your hands on your heart and repeat that to yourself one more time. I am activating my feminine empress. And taking this deep breath, sending some love to yourself, smiling because this new being, the new way of being that you have chosen for yourself right now is your divine design. It's your divinity, it's your divine design. So sending yourself love for taking this courage, smiling to yourself. And whenever you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and type in the comment that you are activating your feminine empress. All right. Reading some comments here. Activated, ready to share. Awesome, Marina. Awesome. I'd like to hear your experience from this activation. If stepping into your feminine empress is feeling something like scary thing for you, stay with that. It's all right. As I said before, it's not about doing it right away. It doesn't happen right away, and it's not the work for everyone. It requires a lot of courage because it requires you to see yourself fully. It requires a lot of courage for that. That's why this work is not for everyone, because I like to say there are a lot of people whose divine purpose on this earth is to just create chaos for us. And that is absolutely fine, because these people are our triggers for us to step into our feminine empress. Feels like walking into footsteps slowly. Yes, I'd like you to just stay present with this basking full moon light. And make sure you make your full moon water, drink it, activate it in all possible ways. I will be posting the link for you to carry on your inquiry about these different archetypes next week. So register there and I'll see you there. And I'd love to hear your experiences. I'd love to hear, what is it coming out? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling doubtful? All is welcome. All of you is welcome here. All right, sisters, I'm signing off now. Blessings.